All right. Wednesday, March 27, just before 7 a.m. Just getting started here. Taking every entry that comes up. This is off previous day close. The gap just closed. If it triggers. All right. So we got a win here. I must have got some slippage on the account. Only 123. Well, I'll take it. I guess I only got 9 ticks on that one. But I'll take it considering it pulled back already. All right, let me update my stats. Then I'll get a chance to talk here a little bit. All right, so I already have my first trade in. Happened right after I got my stream started here. Yesterday was really just another reminder and lesson that I have to trust my edge and take my entries as they come. The last 2 days I've been a little bit too in my head and analyzing too much, and the point of this strategy is to get away from analyzing the individual setups. And so I feel like I've been doing that too much in the last couple of days. And I know why. It's because I was getting close to a payout, or close to qualifying for a payout on PA2. And so I started trying to be more careful about the trades that I was taking. So yesterday I was just thinking about it, and I talked about it a little bit yesterday, but there were at least a couple of trades that I could have had on that account before the first trade I took that was a loss on it. And so really I wasn't upset about the losses yesterday. I was more upset just with myself that I wasn't taking the entries that I was supposed to take. So, even looking at this entry, like, this is kind of the point of my system. I mean, this doesn't look like a great entry. I like it because it's right off of the previous day close. And look, that's all I need to get a small win. It doesn't have to move a whole lot for me to be able to lock in a win. So, based on the way that I'm trading, I'm supposed to take every entry, and most of them are going to work, because that's all I'm going for. It's just the smallest amount. I mean, ideally I'm going for a little bit more than 9 ticks, but you get the idea. So I don't have to overanalyze. I don't have to decide where the market's going or wants to go to be able to take my setups. And that's the thing that I have to remember as I move forward. So I'm just looking here. Now, two of my charts, the entry was a little bit different here and they didn't work. So luckily I was on the chart that worked for it, and on one of the charts that didn't work for it. So, while price is doing this, it looks like we've got a pretty good sell-off going. I'm probably just going to look for a couple more charts to play off of. I'm going to switch to PA6 next. All right, so I've got 3 charts now, and I'll keep looking for one more. All right, so I'm back to 4 charts that I'm going to work off of, and got one trade in the books here. Hey Gary, how are you this morning? Bloodbath this morning? What happened for you? I had not a bloodbath, but I had an O2 day yesterday, which was not fun. So I'm just trying to bounce back from that. Started off the day well, got a win on this PA2 that I have to build back up again. Hope it's not a bloodbath for you personally, Gary, and you're just talking about the sell-off in general. For me, I'm just bouncing back from yesterday, O2 day, which Gary says all is well here, 383 per 15 PA. Just the market in general. The open was crazy. Yeah, just the sell-off. Yeah, cool. I'm glad you didn't run into something there. So yesterday I was skipping trades when I started off and trying to apply analysis and reason to why I'm taking trades, which is not supposed to be what I'm doing. So I'm just trying to take every entry as they come now, and I'll accept the losses where they come. But I can't be skipping entries just to wait and then end up getting a loss and missing a bunch that would have worked. So doesn't trigger here yet. All right. So second one in the books. Again, getting a little bit less than I'd like. This one I got 10 ticks. Doesn't look like 10 ticks though. Looks like 9 ticks again. I think there's slippage on the Apex accounts. All right, so trade number 2. So clawing back a little bit from my losses yesterday. Obviously the losses were about $600 each on both of these accounts. So just a small, I guess this is the same. Just a small refund from yesterday, but I'll take it. Move on to the next account, PA7. This is a good example of why I just have to take the trades as they appear on my charts and not be analyzing or overthinking whether or not to take the trade, because you see my entry here is off an inside bar and the bars are stacking up. I mean, this is not a trade that I would think, if I'm putting any analysis to it, that I should be taking. Not near the EMA, not near a key level. For all we know, we've already got the 2 legs down. Even more than 2 legs down, it looks like, if I measure it. Yeah, even more than 2 legs down. So it's not a trade that I would take according to any kind of analysis. But because this chart is working well, I'm supposed to take the trade with my system. And this is what I wasn't doing yesterday. So, it's virtually the same thing where, I had reasons to doubt these trades. And so yesterday and the day before, I wasn't taking them. And it kept me out of winners. And yesterday, it cost me that my first 2 trades and my only 2 trades of the day were losses, when I could have had a couple winners before them, and that would have made my loss land on different accounts. So this is how I have to trade. I just have to trust my charts, and I'm going to pick up losses here and there. I'm still going to apply certain limited rules, really just about the key level areas. But if it's not in a key level area, for the most part, I'm taking the trade. The really difficult thing for me is, if I start applying any rules, it gets really difficult, because once you start applying any rule, then you start looking at each one to find if there's a reason to not take a trade. So that's kind of what I'm battling against. And just yesterday, and really the day before, I've just been trading more like my old way of trading, and I got to stay away from that. I got to stick with what's been working for me. Let me update my stats here, and I'll be right back. Actually, not my stats, but I don't think I updated days traded here. I think that's 21 now. And oh yeah, and I didn't update my stats, so let me do that. All right. Gary says he wonders if we go all the way down to the 40s. I don't know. I don't even have anything on my chart that far down. I could look at the daily. Well, that would be around where the EMA is. All right, so PA7 will be next. Nice to have a couple wins under my belt already at 7:15 in the morning, after the last 2 days where it was a struggle to just even take one trade. Nice to have some movement in the market. By the way, on PA2, the reason why it made a little bit more is I actually added a third contract on that trade. All right, so for the key for me is to just keep doing this. I'll have a better time accepting my losses when I'm just taking the entries, and losses are going to come when losses come. But it's a lot easier to accept it when I'm trusting my system, and this is where I'm picking up trades and wins that I wouldn't typically be getting in other systems I've tried. So that's kind of the strength of this system, is to pick up trades and wins in places where I wouldn't normally trade, where I'd still be waiting for a better setup. And that's what I recognized about the last 2 days, was I was skipping trades. And like I said, yesterday it cost me. Then I looked back and I was like, man, if I had just taken the entries as they had come, I would have had at least 1 or 2 wins before I picked up my first loss. And so that would have been the 2 accounts that got the damage. So actually, I would have been protecting the account better by just sticking with my strategy than what I actually did, which was tighten up and start trading differently than what got me to within 400 of the payout target. So I just got to get back to the original game plan. On this next trade, this PA7, I'll be risking basically the whole account on this trade. I'm just going to move my stop out of the way in case it engulfs. Because if I get a loss here, it's going to be close to blowing anyway. What happened here? I heard an error there. It looked like it went far enough. All right, well, I'm risking this account essentially right now. All right, there we go. All right, so I got 11 ticks on that trade. so the 3 PAs are traded. I'll update my stats here. Much better way to start the day than yesterday. Again, another trade, third trade in a row that I wouldn't take based on any kind of analysis. So this is my system working at this point for me, which is what I was not letting it do previously. All right, Gary says, nice, thank you. All right, so I also just think, it obviously helps to just have more price action, more volume. All of that. When you have like really limited setups and, there's like just no momentum in the movement, it's really hard to commit to trades. But when prices are moving a little bit faster, then it's a little bit easier to pull the trigger, I think, as well for myself. It doesn't give me enough time to doubt it or have second thoughts. All right, so what are we doing next here? I'll go to 27. Actually, I'm like one trade away from on 31. Go to 31 next. In 31, I only need $64. $63. Hopefully this market will keep moving. What happened? I lost my ATM. That's not good. Apparently I'm risking this account that was almost passed. I'm not sure what happened there. Alright, well this account was almost passed and somehow I have a glitch. Alright. I might have to try to add to this. That's a bummer. I'm not really sure if I messed up where I dropped it. I was just trying to drop it where I would need it for to pass. But I'm not sure if I just made an error or if this was a copier error. All right, this sucks. What happened? Did I just lose my account? I really don't know what just happened. It's like the stop loss got left in on the Apex account that was being copied. I'm really not sure what just happened. I have no idea what just happened. I'm really confused. My account was it was one trade away from passing. And so now I'm just taking a chance, right? All right, I guess I just blew it up. Yeah, all right, that was really weird. That was really weird. Oh well. I really don't know what happened there, but it is what it is. I'll have to go back and watch it at some point. So trade for EV30. 31. Went from $60 away to passing to blown account. All right. Well, suffice to say that this chart is off the 2-trade list. So I'm going to go to 27 next. It's just really weird. It like took me, I don't know. Either way, it's going to be a loss. Just threw me off the way it happened. All right, so I'll update my stats here. This is admin. I'm not sure exactly what happened, but I'll accept it. All right. I'm still confused exactly what happened at the beginning of that trade. Because it shouldn't have closed my ATM. Maybe it's time for me to update my replicant. I've seen a couple updates come and I haven't done it yet. I actually did lose 2 charts at the same time on that loss. So I'm down to 1 chart, but I can keep looking and see if I can find any other charts. Yeah, I just found one. Oops. What did I do? I want to trade that. Change that. That's the one I took the trade on. Let's see. This one. All right. The one here. $11.6. Should have stuck to this chart. This chart just is great so far. All right, update my stats here real quick. All right. So 5 trades today. Big difference from the last 2 days. It's a bummer about this one account, but I'm just not going to think about it. I'm just going to move on. Go to account 29 next. All right, so for the day, I'm right at what my win rate has been, 80%. So 4 accounts doing well. Unfortunately, the one hit was on the account that I was the closest to passing another evaluation. Whatever that glitch was, I think I must have messed it up. I was trying to move the profit target to just where I needed it to just secure the win for less ticks. But I must have dropped in the wrong place, or the copier got confused when I did it. I don't really know exactly what happened there, but I'll either chalk it up to user error, or I mean, really, the trade would have lost regardless. It just wouldn't have blown up. So one way or the other, that was my fault. The reality is that at some point, not too far off, I'm going to start treating these trades and these accounts like, any trade could blow it up, because I'm going to start not having the stops where I put them. I'm going to start moving them and try to work out of a trade if it works against me. So but the way this happened was not ideal. I'm just glad it didn't happen on like a PA account, right? So I'm still working off of 3 charts. I'll be trading evaluation 29 next. Not looking good for me. Maybe it's still going to work. Maybe not. So close right there. All right, I manually closed that because the copier didn't fill it. But it looks like I got a good fill when I did that. So yeah, because I got more than what it says there, I think. It says I only got 10 ticks, but I got more than that. I'm just going to say like 15 ticks. I never know what to do in those situations. Do I just let it ride and try to get more and more, or do what I did and get out? But I think I did the right thing. All right, so let's see. That's a 10th day traded on this one. And again, despite my loss, despite blowing up this account, I've now improved 5 accounts today, which makes it really easy to not think about the one that was so close to passing already that I blew up. Let me update my stats. All right, so I'll trade evaluation 33 next. And both the other charts that I'm watching had that same setup here as well, and they all worked. So I've still got 3 charts, but I'm just sticking with this chart since it keeps working. And again, you know, this is another trade I wouldn't have taken if I'm analyzing anything, because I'd be concerned it's going to retest the lows. And you can see it had a little trouble at first before it finally pushed through. And this is why, I mean, literally, I'm not sure I would have taken a single one of these winning trades today if I was using any sort of analysis. And that is where my edge is. And I have to recognize that. And if I look at the last 2 days and how my days went, especially yesterday, walked away 0-2 yesterday, when I easily could have been, I really believe, at minimum 2-2 from what I remember. It just means I didn't take advantage of my edge yesterday. And when I could have had 2 accounts that were green yesterday, instead I had no accounts green and only 2 accounts red. And also where the red accounts would have been different accounts, because the order would have been different. So whereas now I have a lot of makeup work to do on PA2 and PA6, that wouldn't have been the case yesterday if I was just taking every entry as they came. It's really hard. I mean, that's probably the hardest thing for me, trading my system effectively, because for 3 years I was training myself to trade a very specific way with a whole lot of rules, and now I'm constantly fighting the thing about all those rules I learned about and trying to not take trades based on that, or not, or skip trades based on that. All right. Another trade I would have never taken. So this is just, time and time again, when I'm trading my system the way I'm supposed to, I'm able to get these trades I wouldn't normally take. And for the most part, they usually win. So I've got to just keep doing it. Every time I do it, I have better success than anything else I do. I got 5 points on that one. right, so let me update. Day 7 traded on this one. And do my stats here. All right, so it's been a good day overall. 6-1. The week is looking a little bit better overall, 7-3. And then my overall 2024 stats are basically the same as they've been for a while now. Which just goes to show, I can count on the system. I just have to trade the system the way it's supposed to be traded. And losses will come. The thing I'm thinking about doing at some point is upping my contracts, because I'm able to win a number of trades in a row across accounts. So I just really wanted to get a payout first before I started doing that. All right, I'm going to go to account 26 next. But in theory, if I up the contracts and it's just less trades I need to win before these accounts pass and get to payouts, so it'll be a little bit less work. It's just obviously the more contracts I trade, the more at risk I put the accounts on each trade. But I mean, definitely the 50Ks. I mean, I can afford to do more and still be able to take a loss and come back from it. I mean, if I didn't lose the one Eval today that was almost passed, I probably would have started trading max contracts on the 2 evaluations I haven't traded yet. I'll trade 3 contracts on them. All right, so this price action has been pretty sideways for a while, but I'm still getting setups that are working. It's gotten pretty tight in here. All right, so I've got 2 more accounts to trade. And if I can happen to get 2 winning trades on those 2 accounts, then I'll have to decide what I'm going to do from there. if I'm done for the day or if I want to push my luck on anything. So 6-1, despite losing the account, 6-1 is a good day for me, coming on the heels of yesterday being 0-2 and the day before that being 1-0, and that trade barely, I got out 1-0. I could have easily been an 0-1 day as well. But just the fact that I'm able to get more trades, I mean, definitely helps that the volume is higher. It's just funny how the market has a way of humbling you, you know? I mean, I really didn't see yesterday coming. And I really did, you know, it's funny, I listened back to some of my live stream yesterday, and I heard myself saying things that I was like saying, like, I'm hesitant, I'm skipping trades for this reason, that reason, these are trades I'm supposed to be taking. And then the way I was like analyzing the bias where I thought the market was going to go is like all the things I don't want to hear for how I'm supposed to trade this system. And, and I thought I was past that, but every so often it just creeps back where I start tightening up, and it definitely had to do with the psychology of being close to a payout. So I really just need to not be focused on that. It's hard not to, but I need to try. Thinking back when when I lost the ATM and everything, I mean, I was so close to passing. Even if I lost a couple $100, I think that's what it was. I think I looked up here and I saw it was like down 300. I was like, oh, I was 40 away. I don't want to be 340 away. So I didn't exit it. But considering like I lost the ATM and it was just like the whole thing went wrong right away, maybe I should just exited it and picked another spot. It's hard to say because it's hard to be prepared for when like glitches happen with the copier. It's hard to say what you'll do because every situation is going to be different. I mean, that's the one thing I could have done to just like save it, but I mean, it really doesn't ultimately matter, honestly. All right, let's see. We've got 7 trades at 8:15. I've been trading for about an hour and 20 minutes, just slightly under. So that's pretty good. 7 trades. Yeah, this would probably be a stellar day if I didn't have that glitch on this one account. Even if it was a loss, the account would still be alive, but maybe I just mismanaged it. Adding the contract certainly didn't help when I was stuck in the trade without an ATM. Probably could have just got out and reset myself on it and said, okay, it was a weird one, just get out of it, save the account, and still wouldn't have been that far away from passing, but just chalk that up to a mistake, user error. So price is really just in this tight range for a really long time. Basically from over here, just say from around here. .32 range for over an hour. This is so tight now, I just don't even want to think about even taking any trades. Oh, I forgot. Account 35 I still need to trade. I don't know why I was looking at this like it wasn't a active account, but it is. I wanted to trade every account that has a balance first before I start trading the new ones. So I'll do 35 next if something comes up. I forget too, because I've only had 8 active accounts for a while, and then these 2 accounts came back online basically this week. So I was so used to only having 8 accounts to trade. Today I actually had 10 available until I blew up this one. So now I have 9. So yeah, I was thinking I have 7 trades. I only have like 1 more account to trade, but I still have 3. It's funny too, because overall, I'm like, because of this, I'm like technically red for the day if you add all the numbers up, right? But I don't feel red for the day. I feel green. It's also, what happened with this account is also the reason why I don't want to copy multiple accounts at the same time. I'm using the trade copier just to make it simpler for me to switch between accounts and choose which account I'm trading. I'm just choosing it in that one window instead of having to pull up the chart trader every time, because I don't like the chart trader up while I'm trading, because it just gives me less real estate to see the chart. So, I could be just trying to choose them in the chart trader, and then maybe I would avoid those situations with the copier. I have to think about that. Because I could always just open I can always just open this. You see I have Sim as my leader. I could always just open this and change accounts here. I'll have to think about that. Because if I was doing that, that would have saved me from this problem. Because that was definitely a copier issue. So maybe I really need to consider to start doing that. I gotta say though, for having been $40 away from passing this account, or $60, whatever it was, I think it was 60, to blowing it up, I think I'm the most calm I could have ever imagined I'd be about blowing up an account that was $60 away from passing in a single trade. I think it's just because I knew it was a copy trader error, and then I was just freelancing at that point, just just dealing with it on the fly and figuring out, once I lost my ATM strategy, what was I going to do? Because I thought it took me out of the trade entirely, but it just took out my leader account, which was a sim account. And then at that point I saw I was down like 300, and I decided, well, I'll just give it a chance to work. Where was that? That was this thing. So I don't know why the sim got out there. Maybe it was like, maybe it was the bottom tick. So maybe it didn't go through it for the limit order to take on the Apex account. That's probably what it was. So it closed the sim account, but didn't actually go one tick further to take me out for the win on my Apex account, or it happened too fast. And so I got left in the trade on the Apex account, and then it went against me, and then I added a contract. No, because something else happened that was weird, didn't it? It like stopped me out, and the account was still active. It like stopped me out wherever the original stop was placed on the Apex account. It seemed like, but I thought it was blown up at that point, and then it wasn't, and then I just re-entered again on the fly, and then I added a contract. I think something weird. I don't even remember. I have to watch that one back, but yeah, thankfully, because of the way I'm trading my accounts, it's not phasing me right now. Maybe later when I think about it and be like, oh man, that's 60 away. But honestly, right now it's not even about building PA accounts. I mean, I want to build PA accounts, but building PA accounts just means building more debt to Apex. So it's kind of why I was so focused on the payout. But obviously the payout doesn't matter. I gotta just focus on my system, and I gotta just focus on the process of just taking each trade as I'm supposed to take them, and then hopefully this all will work out at the end of it the way it's supposed to. And today's definitely a good example of how that could and should happen over time if I'm just taking the entries. As the other thing I was thinking about too is just like, I've talked about this a couple weeks ago. Again, it was like after I had a losing day, I was like, it was the same result that I had to decide. I got to trade more like a robot, right? I got to take my analysis and my gut feelings and my biases out of it. And I've got to just take the entry as they come. As long as there's no legitimate rule in the way of me taking the trade, which I have very limited rules at this point, really. I just have to take the trades as they come, and not think about it, not analyze it, not have my bias affect me. Yesterday I was expecting like a retest of the low, and I went short and I got a loss. I got to take that thought process out of it and just go with like, what's the overall chart saying? This overall chart still has not had a second entry that has not worked for my profit target. So the chart is good. Just trust the chart until it gets a loss. That's what I'm supposed to do. So I have some friends that are working with a bot now, and I'm choosing not to. But the idea of what the bot does is, like, I don't want to use a bot, but what I want to do is trade like a bot, but I still want to be able to be here and override if for a reason I believe I shouldn't take a trade, that I'm not going to take it. But yesterday I really didn't have reasons to not take the trades that I skipped. Maybe one of them that was in like a key level. But otherwise, I was just skipping just because I was hesitant and afraid of messing up my PA, which I went on and did anyway. So it doesn't help me to trade that way. And today is a good example of when I'm just not trading scared. It overall works out to my benefit. Yeah, it hurt me on one account, but really, this shouldn't have been a blown account. This should have just been a loss that would have been recoverable. And I just look at it like I lost $30 on the account, $29.70. I lost for that month of trading that account. And it'll come back. It'll renew. I think it renews somewhat soon, in like another week. All right, well, obviously price is just moving really slowly. So there's not a whole lot. We were in a super tight range. It broke out to the bottom. Now it's coming back in. I still have 3 charts that are good. So if I get more setups, I will take them. Today also, by the way, is the last day of the 80% off and 1 day pass at the end of today's trading session. So you could use this code if you want to pick up any more evaluations before this promo is over. Not sure what they'll do next. I mean, it is Easter weekend, but I feel like they didn't do anything last Easter. I don't remember, but I think it's most likely that it's going to go to 71% because if I remember correctly, they did a 90% and then they went to the 80%. And 1 day pass has been around for quite some time now. So I wouldn't be surprised if it goes to 71%. Maybe they'll do the 3 day pass again. Maybe they'll just go back to the regular 7 day thing. I'm not sure. But today's the last day to actually buy an account and pass it in 1 day until we see what their promo is tomorrow. So use this count or use this code or another one that you have if you want to lock that in. I mean, 80% discount is typically the best discount they offer for most of the year. And then every now and again, they'll do the 90%, which is their absolute best discount. And then obviously the 1 day pass is as good as it gets. So we'll see what they do tomorrow. And I think it's half price resets right now. So that might change tomorrow as well. Or I guess after market close today. So we'll see what happens. All right, I'm just hanging here with my mic muted until something comes up. I was just thinking about what I was contemplating earlier, which was using the trader over here to decide what account I was going to trade. But also the problem with that is because I have the ratio of how many contracts to trade in my copier. So it's like all preset, like this account is X amount of contracts to trade. Another account is a different amount of contracts to trade. So it's actually two things I'd have to switch every time I'm going to take a trade depending on the account. So that's actually another reason why I was copy trading to a follower account the way I have been, which I wasn't thinking about. So it would be like more to track and change and think about for each trade. So I'm not sure. I mean, it would have saved me, but how many times does that really happen where I get into that kind of a problem? It's been very rare. Let's see if this triggers. Looks like we're going the other direction, but I'll just leave my order for now just in case. Actually, I think I'll switch charts. It's looking like it's coming back up and will want to get me in this trade. We'll see. Hey, Saggy, welcome. Seeing if I'm going to get into this trade right now. I've got 7 trades already today. 6 and 1. I did blow the account that was closest to passing. All right, so we'll see if this triggers. Nope, it was so close. It was so close to working. It actually went 12 ticks, so if I was only going for the 11 ticks, I would have got it here already. All right, so picked up a loss there. This is the account that's been struggling for some time, so that's all right. First, losing entry on this chart. Let me update the stats here, and then I can tell you, Saggy, about the account 31. All right, so that brings me down to 75% on the day. Shaping up to be one of the not great weeks for my strategy. Down to 64% for the week. Let's see. We're down in the 80% range for the year. All right, so I won't be trading this this chart any longer. Now, I was toying with the idea of moving my stop below here, but I figured if this didn't work, then it's probably going to the low of the day. So I figured I'd get taken out here as well. So no reason to move the stop and take a bigger loss. It's already big enough. I actually was going to trade this with like 4 or 5 contracts. So I kind of at the last moment decided to switch it to 3 contracts. Glad I did that. But this account has plenty of time. So I'll take the loss and try to rebuild it. Let's see. The low here, 90.75, and the low here. So far, if I had moved it, it would have saved me. So we'll see how that works out. My account 31, Saggy, let me pull up the chart. I took this trade here, and it was engulfing of this bar. And I only needed like 8 ticks to secure passing it. So what I did was I moved my profit target manually to 8 ticks. And I think what happened, because I use a leader, my leader account is a sim account that then copies to my Apex account. I think what happened was my sim account exited the trade at 8 ticks, but it didn't tick through to the 9th tick for my limit order. So I think the sim account got filled, but my Apex account did not get filled. And so I lost my ATM strategy. And so when I lost the ATM strategy, I just wasn't really sure what to do. So I was just not doing anything and staying in the trade. I think I actually I think I was in the trade. I think I added a contract here, and then it ended up going against me, and it took me out of the trade at some point. I forget if I added the contract before or after it took me out of the trade, and because I didn't have an ATM strategy. But I think what happened was my Apex account, I think the stop order maybe was still there on the Apex account itself. So it stopped me out. And I thought, okay, I blew up the account, but I hadn't blown up the account. And so I think that's what happened. I hadn't blown up the account. And then this candle started going back down. So when this candle started going back down, I think I re-entered the trade. And then I think I added a contract here. I think that's what it is. So I think I re-entered the trade here. I added an extra contract here, and then it moved against me, and then it blew up my account here. So it was just kind of like a combination between the trade copier issue, but also it didn't go far enough to give me my 8 ticks. Like I was literally 1 tick shy. If it went one more tick, I think my trade would have closed and I would have passed it. So I missed it by a tick, and then because of that, I was just kind of like, just making decisions on the fly. And, when I realized that it closed my sim account, I lost my ATM strategy on my chart. I looked up here and I was down like $300 or $400. And so I was just like, okay, well, I'll just try to stay in it and hope that it turns back down. And so when this bar did this, I was like, okay, it's going to work. And so I was trying to pass it again. So I'd only entered with 1 contract here. So I added a second contract to try to get to that, to make up for the loss and try to get to passing in 1 trade. And then it didn't work out. So yeah, it doesn't. I didn't even really think about it. Now that you say it, Saggy says that was so close to pass. Well, you got to remember, I think I was $64 from passing, and literally, if it had gone 1 more tick, it would have locked in a winning trade and it would have passed. So, I mean, it doesn't get any closer than that. I was within a tick. From within a tick of passing to blowing up the account, all within minutes. But it is what it is. It's not, for whatever reason, it's not bothering me today, thankfully. Even this last loss isn't bothering me. Like, I feel good about the day. I mean, overall, I've got 6 winning accounts. So today feels like a green day, even despite that happening. But yeah, I was going for it. I was just trying to pass it. So I even, the funny thing is I reduced the number of ticks. I don't even actually think I needed 8 ticks. I actually think I needed 7 ticks. But I put it for 8 just to be sure. I was accounting for commissions. I wasn't totally sure. I should have probably calculated better, but oh well. All right, I just realized I wasn't paying attention and missed a trade here, but that's okay. So my last loss, if I had moved my stop, it would have saved me. 90.75, 92. So if I had moved my stop, it would have saved me. I would have still been in this trade, and I would have just won. See if this triggers. So far, it didn't get me into this trade on my Apex account. All right, now I'm in on the Apex account. Maybe I should have reduced what I'm going for, since seems to, the last trade worked for 11, but not more than that. Now it looks like it worked for 11 again. Not sure where 11 is. Probably should have reduced how much I'm going for here. I might move my stop to the previous swing if it looks like it's going to engulf. Tempted to just let it try to get for my full target. No. All right. I'm just going to risk the account. I'll see if I can add a contract somewhere. Actually, that won't work. But all right, so I'm going to be risking this account, which had just renewed, but the problem on the 25K accounts is I just don't have enough room to even do this with, actually. Because look at this, it's already within 500 of hitting the drawdown. This trade would have worked for 11 ticks if I was going for less. Likely to blow this account. This thing's probably going to keep going up. So I probably should have just taken the loss where I was supposed to take it, but what can I do? Making a couple poor decisions today. All right, it's going to blow it. We're 100 away. There's just no room to add on the 25K accounts to try to work out of a trade. So that's why it's not really a great idea. All right, it's going to blow. So two accounts blown today. Yeah, that one's blown. So let's just close all that. All right. It's not the way I want to end the day, but hey, could be worse. What did we do? I think it was that. Yeah, I mean, this bar didn't even engulf, so really I'm not supposed to be moving my stop at that point anyway. I'm supposed to just take the loss. This was trade 8. Saggy says, I didn't see your other comments because I was in a trade, Saggy, but your last comment says, I'm sorry, but are you sure you're trading, not gambling? Is anything happening in your personal life other than trading? I know you, brother, it's not your style. No, I think I thought this was going to engulf, and that is a rule that I can move my stop. And but because it's a 25K account, if I'm going to move my stop here, it's essentially the same thing as risking the whole account anyway. So that's the thought process. So no, I appreciate it, but as you see, the trade before that, this trade, I had the same thing where I was saying if it engulfs, I could move my stop here because that is a rule. That I could move it to the previous swing when the bar after my signal bar gets engulfed. So essentially when my entry bar where I enter engulfs the bar that I was entering because of, I can move it to the next swing. And in this case, you see it would have saved me. This didn't get as low here as this one, and then it would have gone on to work for the trade. So I took a loss there because I didn't do it. I probably should have done it on that one because that's the 50K account that could actually support it. And on this trade, I was on a 25K account. So if I'm going to move it to the previous swing, I'm risking the whole account anyway. Now, what I didn't keep my mind or keep track of is this bar did not engulf this bar. So because it did not engulf, I should have moved my stop back. But at that point, I had already committed to going with the previous swing. So yeah, I appreciate it. But no, it was a calculated risk. And again, I lost $29. So it's not the end of the world or something to be very concerned by. It's annoying because I did just renew that account this week. So that account, this was the first day to be traded on it. Now it's admin again for another month. So that's annoying, but it is what it is. I should have moved it back when it didn't engulf, but at that point I had already made my decision. So I just didn't keep my eye on it. So that's trade 9. All right, so let me see if I have any more charts even to trade at this point. Actually, let me update my stats real quick. All right, so I'm now 80% on the dot overall, 156 wins out of 195 trades, and 7 and 5 for the week. Not good. 58%, 6 and 3 for today, 67%. Not good. But I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. Sagi says, I think last time that Friday was also sideways market. You lose big, and this time also side. Yeah, I'm not concerning myself with all of that, Sagi. Yesterday, I was more concerned about the fact that I was skipping entries that I should have been taking based on my strategy. And if I was taking the entries that I should take, I would have had a couple wins yesterday, and my loss would have not fallen on this, on either one of those PA accounts. I would have had 2 wins before I took my first loss yesterday. And so my strategy literally is to take every second entry that appears on winning charts. That's my strategy. So today, I'm happy with my trading. You might look at this and go, oh my God, you lost $1,500, $3,000, $4,000. I didn't lose $4,000. I lost $29.70 and $29.70. So I lost $60 today. And this account is basically break even for starting balance, right? So I'm down on the drawdown, but as far as I'm concerned, I've lost $60 today, and I've improved 6 accounts. So and this account that I blew up today, I had, all I had in the game was $29.70. I hadn't even traded it yet. So the fact that I blew it up, there's no work that I've put into this account. And so, yeah, it's annoying, but it is what it is. I don't mind. This account I already talked about. I blew it up. I was very close to passing, but that was within a tick of passing, and just circumstances worked against me in that situation. You can rewind the rewind the live stream and go back and watch that trade and see for yourself how that turned out. It is just a matter of circumstance, and it worked out the way it did. I don't feel bad about it at all. Today to me is a green day. So let's see. Sagi says, what I am looking is you don't risk usually that big like today. Yeah, I understand, but again, calculated risks, right? The only mistake I made here on this last trade is that I wasn't paying attention to see that this bar did not engulf the top of this bar. And so when it did not engulf, then I should have said to myself, okay, move it back, because the rule is not, the rule wasn't triggered to be able to move it here. So I should have moved it back, but it was an oversight. But I don't feel bad about it. It's fine. I had already committed to moving it to the previous high. And by moving it to the previous high, I was committing to potentially losing the account. So it just really is not something I'm concerned about. But I appreciate you asking and bringing it up, because if it was something like me tilting or gambling, then it's something to recognize. But it's just circumstantial, right? I'm willing to lose any of these accounts, especially the evaluations. They're $30. It's not really a concern of mine. And also, this was the first time I've had 10 accounts all active at the same time again for a while. So honestly, 10 accounts is more than I need right now. I mean, until I'm getting payouts, it truly is more than I need. I probably should be more like 8 accounts, and now I have 8 active accounts again. So this account is going to renew next week. I'm going back to 9 accounts. It's going to be like this account was never lost today, however you look at it. So I have 8 active accounts. I'll be back to 9 in a week. And this one, will just take a long time to come back. It's going to be a full month before this one comes back. And I got plenty of other accounts to work on. So that's fine. I can come back then. And the renewals are always 80%. So most of the time, the 80% renewal is usually going to be the best deal that is being offered at any given time. The only time that's different is the few times they do a 90%, which is not very often. Saggy's up $101 on 3 accounts. Great. That's good. Yeah, see how you're excited or happy about being up on 3 accounts is how I feel about being up on 6 accounts, right? I mean, these accounts, okay, I blew 2. Tomorrow they don't exist. They're just admin accounts that are not active. But meanwhile, I've improved 6 accounts today. Now this one, yeah, it's a little bit more of a stinger that I was so close to passing, but you know what? I don't need another PA right now. Another PA is not the objective. The objective currently is a payout. So I did my mission today on my PA accounts. I've improved those today. And as well as I've improved other evaluations. So, lose one account that you're close to passing. Well, I've got another account that's close to passing. I'm within 400. So that's the purpose of my my risk management is, okay, I lost one, big deal. I've got another one coming up to the plate next at bat, and I'll get there on a different one. It's fine. And I've already got 2 25 kPAs, so I'd rather have a 50 kPa in addition to the only 50 kPa I have already anyway. So there's pluses and minuses to anything. I'm not feeling negative about today. Saggy says, I like your confidence. Hey, thanks. I appreciate it. I didn't see your earlier comments because I was in a trade. So you said, I know you're focusing on PA2's payout. Yeah, see, you missed a big part of my day today. You missed most of my day. You said, and that payout might change your trading. So those were the 2 comments I missed of yours earlier. Yeah, you missed essentially everything I talked about for the first part of the day. So you can go back and watch, but I also talk about it in the review if you ever check out my reviews. But the long story short about today was I started off today talking about I was just concerned about the way I wasn't taking trades yesterday. There were setups that I could have taken, and because of one reason or another, because of the slow movement and the low volume, I chose to not take a couple trades, and they would have been winning trades. And because I was applying biases, I was saying, oh, I think it's going to retest the low of the day or the previous day's close, I think it was. So I waited, and my first trade I took was a short with a bias that it was going to go and retest the low. And that's not my strategy. My strategy is to trade my chart. And when I have a chart that's working for the profit target of all my trades, I'm supposed to take the trade. And it's really as simple as that. That's my strategy. I'm not trading the individual setups. I'm supposed to trade the chart. And so if you look at today, I accomplished that, and I feel good about today because today I started right at 7 o'clock, which is right here, and a trade set up right away. And if you look at it, it doesn't look like a good trade. I mean, if you look at the overnight, we're trending up. The market opened. We did nothing but go down. We hit the previous day close price, which was the dotted blue line here. And I took a trade off an inside bar and a not very bullish bar. And I got a win. That's a trade I would not take if applying any rules or analysis or anything. I would be too scared to take this trade, and I wouldn't take it. But I took it, and it worked. Trade 2, same thing. Bars are stacking up. It's already made 2 big legs down, went further than 2 legs down. And if I'm analyzing this trade, I'm not taking it. It's far from the EMA. It's far from the previous day close. It's just in the middle of nowhere. There's no reason to take this trade, but my system says I'm supposed to take the trade. I took the trade. It worked. Trade 3, same thing. We're above the EMA. It's not a trade by any analysis I would ever take. Took the trade. It worked. Went to a different chart for trade 4, I think. Trade 4. Went to another chart. Took the trade. Again, another trade I wouldn't take based on analysis, but I took it. This one didn't work. I missed my profit target by 1 tick to pass the account. And then I had a glitch in my trade copier. Ended up blowing the account. It's fine. Don't feel bad about it at all. You know what I did? I went back to my winning chart and took trade 5. Another trade I would never take based on any analysis. Took the trade and it worked. Trade 6, a trade I would not take based on any normal price action analysis. I took the trade and it worked. So then I went to another chart. Again, bullish bar above the EMA. According to any analysis, I would not take the trade. I took the trade, it worked. The reason why these trades are working and the reason why I'm taking them is because this chart never had a losing entry the entire session. That's my strategy. That's the whole strategy. So, no, Saggy says, I'm sorry, brother, if my previous comments hurt you. No, they didn't, Saggy. I'm just explaining to you because you missed my whole session. So go back and watch the session from the beginning and you can see where I started the day and what I said my priority was for the day. And my priority was exactly what I did today. I traded all of my accounts except for one in the time until I lost all charts that I could trade for the day. It's also the time where I stop trading typically for the day at 9:30. So this is the time where one way or the other I was going to stop trading. And if you go back and watch my stream, you'll see that my entire directive or priority today was to not do what I did yesterday. My whole point of trading today, I came in and said, what I'm going to do today is trade my system. I'm going to take every entry that I'm supposed to take. I'm not going to apply any analysis. And I'm not going to pick and choose trades. I'm going to trade the way I'm supposed to trade my strategy. And I'm actually happy for my day today because this is representative of how I'm supposed to trade. Now, the blowups are not representative of how I'm supposed to trade, but each one of them was circumstantial to the situation that happened during the course of each of those particular trades. And this one had 31 had a copier issue because it didn't tick through my profit target. And so I was taken out of the trade on my leader account, but not on my Apex follower account. And so I lost my ATM strategy on the chart. And so I was just freewheeling at that point, deciding on the fly how I was going to manage the trade. And it just didn't work out. And I was fine with it. And I knew I was, I could have closed the trade at any time. And I knew because I didn't have an ATM strategy and a stop set that I knew anything could happen. And then I got stopped out unexpectedly. So go back and watch it and you'll see how that played out and understand it. And then this last trade actually worked for my normal profit target of 11 ticks. So it's not a bad trade. The low is 8.25. So my entry's at 8 and the low of the candle was at 450. So it actually moved 3.5 points. So that's 14 ticks. And typically I go for 11 tick scalps, but on days where it's working for more, I go for more. So the fact that this worked for my 11 tick scalp, again, I don't feel bad about it. It was actually a working trade, but I'm going for more than just 11 ticks now. And it turned into a loss. The only difference between this trade and any other trade I take is because I decided to move my stop above the previous swing based on a rule. It didn't trigger the reason for me to actually move it, but I wanted to get it out of the way just in case it just triggered and then moved back down. So I knew the second I moved it, I was risking the 25K account. And that's a complete summary of my day. So, no, I'm not hurt by your comments. I'm just trying to explain what I'm doing here because I think you don't sometimes totally understand how I'm trading. Okay, so that was a complete review. I should just take that clip and make it my review video, but I'll record something new for that. So overall today, while it looks bad, it feels good in a weird way. I stuck to my guns. I traded my system the way I'm supposed to trade it. I got a trade on 9 out of 10 accounts, which is a lot for me. And this is the way my system is supposed to work. Now, I'm typically not going to get 3 losses in a day, as the stats show. almost at 200 trades for the year in the first 3 months, and I'm right at 80%. So I'm winning 8 out of 10 trades or 4 out of 5 trades. And so typically on average, I will only get 2 losses in a day max. And typically I won't be blowing up an account in a single day. But today was unusual for that one particular reason, that I blew up 2 accounts. And that's fine. This account comes back next week. And meanwhile, my priority, my PA accounts, each were green today. And so that's my priority. And again, the other thing I talked about at the beginning of the day, for anyone that missed it, is evals equal demo, PA equals real. Well, they're all real money, but the amount of risk of real money is different. So that what you call a demo still has a little bit of risk. It's $30, right? So there's a little bit of skin in the game, but $30 in the big scheme of things doesn't make a big difference. You get one max payout. How many $30 does that cover for each evaluation you buy? So yeah, it's minimal, right? The PAs are on average $200 for me to acquire them. So there's a little bit more meaning behind them, but it's also time, right? The amount of time that you put into these accounts to reach a payout, or to reach just passing to acquire a PA, that's time you can't get back. So at some point, your time is money. And so that's also what, it's a factor to not be overlooked. How long it takes to become profitable. How long does it take? Because the whole point of this is to be able to supplement my income. And so far, I'm not doing that. So I like to, 1, get my money back, and 2, start being able to supplement my regular income with profits from this. So there's still a bigger picture goal. And this is just part of the journey. This is just one day in the journey. But today was a successful day because today I traded my strategy the way I'm supposed to. Yesterday wasn't an unsuccessful day because of my losses on my PA accounts. Yesterday was an unsuccessful day for me because I didn't trade my strategy the way I'm supposed to. So today represents a good trading day, trading it the way I'm supposed to. And yesterday represented a bad trading day, not because of the losses, but because I wasn't trading my system properly. All right. I've got to wrap it up. My daughter's up, and I like to be done around this time for the day. So thanks for joining me, Saggy. I appreciate all your comments, and I appreciate you being here. So please don't take it like I got upset with you. I was just trying to explain my way of thinking and my mentality and my strategy and what I was trying to do today. And nothing I did today was without reasons. So today it's interesting because, right, if I look at if I add up all of this, right, all of my numbers, I'm down $3,000 for the day. Yet today feels like a green day to me. I don't know if you can wrap your mind around that, but for me, today was successful. Today I traded 9 out of 10 accounts, and I improved 6 of the accounts that I traded out of the 9 that I traded today. And even though I lost more than I won, 6 of my accounts are heading closer to their goals, and 3 of my accounts went backwards or blew up. And to me, it's a green day. 6 accounts in the green versus only 3 in the red. It's a really different way of thinking about things, but that's how I'm looking at it. These accounts will come back for another $30, right? This account is still in the game. It just doesn't matter. It's not real money. I dropped some tickets in the arcade, and I have to go find them or get new ones and play the game. Go back and play the game tomorrow and win high scores so that I can pick up more tickets so that I can turn them into the gift counter and collect my $2,000 payout at some point, right? So, today's a good day. I'm actually proud of myself for getting over the kind of hesitation and the scaredness of my trading that I traded the last 2 days. If I wasn't trading scared the last 2 days, I wouldn't be $900 away from the payout right now. I would actually be $300 away from the payout, or maybe even $200 away from the payout. So it's actually a function. Me having gone backwards on this account was actually a function of me trading scared, because I wanted to make sure I traded good for a payout. And I got to get away from that. The payout shouldn't affect, how close I am to a payout shouldn't affect the way I trade the account. I got to trade the account like this, and the losses will come wherever they come. All right, I'm out of here. Saggy says, yeah, brother, good night. See you tomorrow. Now going to watch that 31 trade. Yeah, go check out that 31 trade, and check out the beginning of my stream where I was talking about yesterday and talking about what my objective was for today, because I think I've accomplished it despite the couple losses here. So, all right, that's going to be it for me today. Again, the 80% off the discount for the evaluations ends today at the session close. So you can use this code or any other code you have and get that 80% off if you want to pick up some evaluations. Also, today's the last day of the 1 day pass at session close too. So no telling what they'll go to after that. It could be 71%, could be a 3 day pass, could be the normal 7 day pass, could be they decide to continue the 1 day pass. You never know. But I'm pretty much expecting it to be 71% after today, or after the market closed today. And yeah, other than that, I am here starting my live stream every day at 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Pacific. And come back and join me, and let's see if I can recover the loss from yesterday on my PA accounts and ultimately get to a payout sometime, hopefully relatively soon. All right, I'm out of here. Thanks for watching. Sagi says, have a great day. Good morning to Little Princess. Cool. Thanks, Sagi. All right, be back tomorrow for the last day of the week. No trading on Friday. It's a holiday for Good Friday. So there is trading on Monday. Monday is a regular trading day. So I'll be back Monday, but I'll also be back tomorrow, and then no trading Friday. All right, I'm out of here.